exclusives.
Hey guys, Shadow here. Today we're going to be looking at a few unreleased and scrapped Beanie Man projects that you've probably never heard of. With Beanie Man being our longest and most successful series in Fusp history, there's no shortage of scrapped ideas, content, and animation. Today, we're going to take a small look at some of the lost media that never saw the light of day. Without further ado, let's get into this. Beanie Man Season 1 started development in January of 2022, and it was our first real series both me and Mr. Fusp worked on. While there had been stuff in the past, such as the Doodles and Toony Loons, those animations were usually only a few seconds long, compared to Beanie Man, which was going to be a 6-episode long series with episodes reaching lengths of up to 10 minutes. As such, we had a lot of ideas thrown out, with all sorts of scrapped concepts. Starting off with Season 1, there were many episode rewrites, most notably with Episode 2, which got rewritten 3 times. The original idea for the episode was to be about a dog show, with James originally being a deformed dog. The only evidence left for this episode is this one messy screenshot that I have no idea when this was taken, actually. The second idea was based around a cult, with James being an ancient spirit that was worshipped. Footage for this episode can be seen in the second trailer for Season 1, and it's also where Guy was first conceived as a character. Originally, Dasha was also going to make a small appearance, with this being their original design. Eventually, we would come to a final conclusion for the episode, but it was after a lot of trial and error, and I think the final idea we settled on was the best idea out of the 3. A few other episodes that got rewrites were episodes 4 and 5, with both having slightly altered plots. Originally, episode 4 was meant to take place in the convention center for the whole episode, but we would be inspired to change tracks when the movie Bullet Train released. Episode 5 originally was going to end with its final battle being in a warehouse, instead of a plane and a cartel base. And Terry was also going to be there. Initially, we were going to have Terry be in every episode, but we would get the idea for a fake death subplot during the development of Episode 2, and we rolled with it in Episode 3. There were still a lot of other concepts that were thought of, but were never used, especially character concepts. Originally, Eric was meant to be a bigger plot point for Episode 1, with his original design depicting him as a cyborg. But as Episode 1's production went on, Eric's story and relevance would be pushed to the sidelines, so much that we wouldn't even have him speak. Bananaton was another character who had a similar character cut, with him originally having subtitles, but these subtitles would be cut from the final product of Episode 3. Episode 3 also had an entire scrap post-credit scene that was meant to set up the last 3 episodes of the season. This post-credit scene would have shown Dan B, Dr. Velcom, and another Pablo Commander, most likely this guy, discussing what to do about Beanie Man, since they would have just learned that he had defeated Eric, James, and Bananaton. Dr. Velcom would suggest his idea of building the Toucanator, telling the others he would need a few months to build it. Dan B would then suggest a friend of his to keep Beanie Man occupied in the meantime, a friend who was a very angry man, alluding to, of course, Angry Man. Ultimately, this post-credit scene will be scrapped in the final cut of Episode 3, mainly due to time constraints. Season 1 had so many episode and plot changes because of its strange production. Season 1 was held together with glue, twigs, and bubblegum, and it's shocking that it came out as well as it did, even though it's really not that great. Some of the issues we had with Beanie Man Season 1 was how we structured the creative process. We would write very loose scripts, write one episode at a time, and rush animation as fast as we could. We wanted episodes to be good, but we also wanted them to come out fast. We also wouldn't record lines until after the animation was done, which is a big reason why Season 1 has terrible lip syncing. Ultimately, a lot of these problems would be fixed during the production of Cactus Jack and early production of Beanie Man Season 2, with episodes being written at the same time, animation being a slow and detailed process, voice lines being recorded in advance, and heavy planning for scripts and characters. Season 1 was a mess, but it was also a learning experience, and it was something we had to figure out as we went along. With us learning a lot from Season 1, we would be able to make Season 2 a lot better. However, there would still be a lot of scrapped ideas that were never used. Episode 2 was originally going to be the first episode of the season, and there would have been an extra filler episode that would have been more character-centric, similar to Season 2 episodes 4 and 5. Ultimately, this was changed so that Dasha could be set up better, which I think was a really good decision. Episode 3 also had some slight rewrites, with the original plot details focusing more on the prison aspect, with the original episode being over the course of weeks instead of just a day. It would also originally end with a prison riot instead of an execution, with the execution not being a concept until the second rewrite. Another scrapped idea to mention is the original lineup of the crew from Beanie Man Season 2. Originally, T-Dog was not going to be a part of the main 5. The main 5 was going to be Beanie Man, Blob, Terry, Angry Man, and a Dasha soldier. This was due to old ideas that we were going to roll with at the time of Season 2's initial development. Originally, Angry Man would have worked for Dasha, and when they would be after Beanie Man, Angry Man would have sided with Beanie Man, and Angry Man would also have a friend who would have sided with him, a Dasha soldier named Samuel. Samuel would have filled in the same role that T-Dog would have served, ultimately dying at the end of the season at the hands of Squarehead. When we changed Angry Man's character to not have him be a part of Dasha, we would remove Samuel and replace him with T-Dog, a descendant of an original Doodles character to match the idea of Squarehead and similar Doodles elements returning. Finally, the most unique scrap project was probably the Beanie Man Halloween special. This special was originally planned to release in October of 2022, and it would have focused on James coming back to possess Guy. But he would end up taking Guy's soul and manifesting it into a pumpkin, using that pumpkin body to hunt Beanie Man, Blob, and Terry. This project was fully written and ready to be animated, but ultimately it would be left on the drawing board, never to be used. Instead, Guy and James would be brought back for Beanie Man Season 2, and we'd get a more conclusive ending there. And that's going to be all for this video, folks. If this video does well and you guys enjoyed hearing about these strange concepts, let us know in the comments. We're only covering the tip of the iceberg here with what we've mentioned, because we have a lot of content that has never seen the light of day, and it's not just Beanie Man related. Hope you all enjoyed the video. See you guys next time. Bye!